remained at Malaysia, so I was brought back to Singapore where I was born. From young, I did not know what motherly love was. I was taken care of by my grandmother on my father's side, and I started to wonder why every child had a mother on their side. I did not even know who my father was and what a father is. I was introduced to my father when I was 6 years old at my uncle's house. I was wondering who that man was, and my uncle said that he was my father. My father then moved his place to Ang Mo Kio, and I visited him once a week. Then later, I met another woman who my father told me to call mother. I was confused. She did not look like my mother. I asked my grandmother and aunt who my real mother was, and they both replied that she was a bad person. I was convinced that she was no good at all. I was 9 years old, and I started to feel frustrated as my father used vulgarities on me whenever I failed a school subject. I started to hate my father and grandmother. I turned rebellious. I started to scold my grandmother and distrust my father. After my PSLE examinations, I went to Penang to visit my relatives to celebrate Christmas. I found that my father went out with another woman when I was in my mother's room. From that moment onwards, I really hated my father, and I also realized that my grandmother had spread lies about my mother. When I got back to Singapore, I got rebellious in school. I hated my friends, my teachers, my family, and myself. I realized that there's no love but pain and sufferings in me. I had nobody to rely on. There is a great distrust between the world and me. I had nobody to cry out to. I was invited to a church when I was 13 years old. From there, I started to know about Jesus, but I was not sure about him. I did not even know that he died on the cross for me. After a few months, I quit church as I found the youth there was arrogant and selfish. I continued to live my life without any meaning to it, and I forgot about God. When I was 14 last year, I met a training teacher, Mr. David Ong, who invited me to play soccer with his friends on a Saturday afternoon. From the soccer, I met Shane, who is my spiritual father now. One evening after the soccer, Shane and I sat down and rested. Shane started to ask me if I believe in God. I tried to deny him, but what struck me hard was, how can I prove God doesn't exist? I went back and thought about it. Can God be real? On one Saturday night, I was invited to SCBC Youth Night. I went with Shane and I was surprised that during the worship, I wanted to cry. But I tried to hold back. After the sermon, the pastor asked the pre-believers about accepting Jesus into their lives. My heart was telling me that I have to accept him. I took up this faith by raising my hand to accept him. After the pastor prayed for me, I felt there was a great joy in me. God had filled the emptiness inside of me. After accepting Jesus, I began to understand more about him, and I realized that he died for my sins. So I knew that I have a purpose more that was to love God. He started to know about his amazing and power of forgiveness. I realized that I needed to forgive the people the most who hurt me more in my life. My father and my grandmother. I love and forgive my father for telling my mother and my grandmother for saying bad things. But no longer there was about my between us. I could communicate to love them better with my needs. Christ was also able to love them and the love that God given me. Because I know that I'm strong God as I wait for more than me. I learned a lot. I spoke for the encounter weekend. And God got so much for his love. Without him, I really forgot to live my life. I'm here today because of him. Thank you, Lord. All praise be to God. Amen.